What's up? What's up? Welcome to the Right Flow Show. What's good? All right. All right. What's up? What's up? Welcome. The Right Flow Show. Welcome. Welcome to the Right Flow Show. Got an intro music going. All right. Hey, what do you guys think about this music, man? I think it's hot, man. What you think? What you think? Drop something down in the comments, man. Let me know what you think about the music, man. All right. Going to tune it on out. All right, welcome to the Right Flow Show every Thursday at 3 p.m. We have the Right Flow Show coming at you, man. What we call the flow. The flow is like you in the zone. You feel like you just can't miss, where everything's just going right and you just in the zone, man. You in the flow. All right, welcome to the Right Flow Show. One thing I want to touch on last week. I say every Thursday at 3 p.m. Last week I was in a training session. Every once in a while I just go to these different training sessions, always trying to keep the sword sharp. So we didn't have a show last week, but we right back at it this Thursday at 3 o'clock. Every Thursday at 3 o'clock, we will have the Right Flow Show. One thing, man, I listen to audiobooks, man, a lot of times in the morning, what I call like my morning success ritual, hydrate, exercise, and I usually listen to some positive information. The book I'm listening to now is called Acres of Diamonds, man. Acres of Diamonds. If anybody haven't read that book or listened to the audio, whatever, it's a pretty good book, man. It's just opportunities everywhere. Even though we got this negative stuff going on, man, it's opportunities all around you, man. What you seen as a problem or a setback, it's nothing but a setup for you to be successful. One thing I want to touch on, man, with the real estate game. I did a video kind of drawing a correlation between wholesaling and what I like to do, the owner financing deals. Most of us, as youngsters, we played the game called Monopoly. As you're going around the board, you land on the properties, you gotta pay that money. You land on somebody's property, you know what I mean? So, what are you doing to set up your Monopoly game? You can't use the excuse of not having the money. Because, like I've been saying, a lot of people say you can buy properties without using none of your own money, none of your own credit, right? So you can't really use the excuse that you don't have the money, and you can't use the excuse that you don't have the credit, because none of that stuff is needed. If you don't have the money or the credit, you can always just put in what I call the hustle muscle. Learn these different no money down strategies and learn how to buy properties without using none of your own money, none of your own credit. It's pretty much setting up your Monopoly game. You get you 3 or 4 properties set up that's cash flowing after all expenses, $300-400 a month, or let's say $200 or $300 a month. You get you 3 or 4, that's like $1,200, man. I mean, you got to get in the game. I recommend everybody to get into this game because a lot of people are under the illusion of retiring. I've talked to a couple people that retire from like Chrysler, Ford. And only at the end of the time, after they put in 30 years, man, 30 years, 32 years, 33 years into these companies, only to have not enough to make it on a monthly basis, man. It's a shame, man. It's pretty sad. But, this onus is not on the company. It's really on that individual because you gotta be responsible for your finances and things like that. So, you acquiring these properties, however you acquire them, but I'm a big opponent on acquiring them, however you acquire them, but, selling them on the owner financing techniques where you can get the maximum amount of money for the property and you can set yourself up pretty good. So if you don't do it for yourself, man, do it for your kids, because at the end of the day, your kids is going to be the one that's going to, hopefully your kids will be the ones that's going to be taking care of you because of your not being so responsible as you should have been. So Pete Gang, man, on the owner finance strategies, I got a free Facebook page where you can go on there. I got like some videos where you can just learn the basics of how to talk to sellers. And once you get the seller to say, you get some sellers just want to do it. One meaning that they want to sell their property through like a lease option or contract. You just send me that information and we can do like a JV on that type of agreement. That's just something I put together, just trying to help folks out. But man, I encourage everybody, man, to get in on this game, especially like right now. There's a lot of people. It's unfortunate, right? But unfortunate times is an opportunity for some other people. It's a lot of people, that's having trouble, making their monthly payments and whatnot. Say, for example, person has some investment properties, they have mortgages on them. And for whatever reason, they having challenges making that mortgage payment because the tenants are not paying rent. And in some places where, you can't evict the tenants, right? So because the court's shut down, you can't evict them. So you got these investors out here with these mortgages on these properties, they can't make the payment. So basically how we make our money in the, owner, I throw the term out there, the owner financing strategy. So basically you're a problem solver. So one situation you can do, you can work with, you got a person here who can't afford to make their monthly payment for whatever reason. And you can strike an agreement with them, right? You can buy that property subject to the existing financing, right? Basically taking over the payments and you work in to resolve that situation with the tenant. As far as, whether the tenant is going to have to move out or work out a payment arrangement where the tenant can get caught up on their payments. But that's an opportunity, for you to make some money, to acquire some properties. Basically taking another person's trash and making it your treasure. So that's one way that you can kind of, get involved in the game in these trying times. But I want to share a story with you back in the day, man. How my granddad was like training me in the game, but not training me in the game at the same time. Most people would look at it that you're not getting trained, but in a way he was training me indirectly. It's kind of smooth with it, right? And I can remember, I just remember that the age of 7, basically. I was really, really young. And mainly what he had me doing is pretty much just kind of helping him out in the yard. Basically he had 4 units, had a house that we rented out one half of the house. So that's like a duplex. And then we had a traditional duplex next door. But my main thing was helping out in the yard, right? So you might say, how's that training if he got you helping out in the yard? So basically by me helping out in the yard, that caused us to be around each other more often than not, like in a close proximity, because, supervision, make sure we're working safe and things like that. So when my uncle in the house that I was living in, he paid rent, I believe it was either weekly or bi-weekly. But the lesson to be learned, so, my primary responsibility, help take care of the yard. But that puts us in this close proximity. So when the situation comes up about the rent, I'm right there because, we out in the yard, come in, clean up, woo. So about the rent. So, kind of the first lesson was, how you treat people, right? So my uncle come through, he get paid because he worked at Jeep. He get paid and he come in and granddad like, boy, where my money at? Then my granddad, then my uncle give him, a little story, he got the money, you get it or whatever, you get paid tomorrow, things like that. Or, I get it to you, something like that. But being real disrespectful to my uncle. So lesson to be learned, if you expect to get your money on time, man, treat people in a manner that you want to be treated. Because there's other times you approach him a different way, my uncle go ahead, get him right. Boom, boom, boom. Ran that right in receipts, all good. So lesson to be learned, you treat people in a manner you want to be treated, then, the likelihood that you get paid is, a little bit better. So, me right there, Roger that, I got you. So another situation, one of my other uncles, you hear those cats, man, as, jack of all trades, master of none, they can do everything, you know what I mean? They can do everything. My uncle, he claimed to be contractor, plumber, he can do it all. He can come through and just get you right up. And some of you beginning investors, I went through it myself. You get these contractors, they tell you, they can do it all. So early on in the game, uncle come through. We had a plumbing situation, but it, needs some contractor work, had to go into the wall, whatnot. He come through, he get to working on it, get to working on the house, and he get in deep with it, right? He get in deep, and he got it all tore up. Tell my granddad, he need to get paid. I distinctly remember it was like $500. He needed to get that in advance, because he got, people he got to pay, he got, things he got to do. Needless to say, got the $500, never showed back up, man. Man, granddad, like I said, lessons to be learned. Lessons to be learned there. Granddad never spoke to him again, man. He couldn't come to no family dinners, couldn't come to nothing. He was cut off. So basically, lesson to be learned there was once a person do you dirty, man, kid, they're like dead to you, you know what I mean? And literally, he was pretty adamant about that, dude. You can't come in the house, man. He didn't even want to hear you on the phone, dude. You done. So once I got more control of the properties in my 20s, maybe 15 years later, long time ago. I barely remember, you know what I mean? So I started hiring, I'm gonna go ahead and put him on blast. He's deceased now. I'm gonna go ahead and put him on blast. Uncle Al. I started hiring Uncle Al, man. I was straight with me, he cool, my up, you know what I mean? So I started hiring Uncle Al, putting hot water tanks, working on furnaces. I'm looking at him. My thing is, I just like to look at cats, eye to eye, you know what I mean? To make sure we on the same page. So yeah, he's straight with me, man. He's done several jobs for me at the house, those houses, my rental properties and whatnot. I was straight, but I definitely deal with people a little bit differently. But the lesson to be learned there, man, is you dealing with a person, they do you wrong, man. It's over, no second chances, nothing. It's like that was the lesson learned there. Then me even at an early age, it didn't take too long. We got a pretty smooth operation here. We got 4 units, banging, tenants paying. It's all good, you know what I mean? I'm like, man, dude. Because I had a next door neighbor, they had they had about 6 units. We got 4, man. Come on, man, you got to step your game up. So I'm like, man, I'm looking. See a house over here on Parkwood. Yo, we can get this crib, man. And he's like, nah. Now, mind you, Granddad only went to school to 3rd grade. 3rd grade, man, and still, back in the day, just hustle, man. So I'm like, man, dude, you could get a couple houses, man. We can buy, flip. I'm thinking as entrepreneur, man, way back. But the risk and the reward, right? So the lesson to be learned there from Granddad there, because he look at me, Now if it work out good, we make all this money. It's all love, Make all this money. It's all love. We flipping and flipping and flipping. We, it's all love. We have a bunch of properties. You know what I'm saying? But that's how he broke it down to me. If you screw it up, and you can screw up, trust me, I did it. You can't screw up, and you lose everything. What are you risking, right? And I'm looking at him like, dude, I'm looking at him like, dude, man, go for it, man. You can't lose, But I'm ready. But he got that wisdom. What would you be risking? Like, the risk would be, for one, he'd be out of a home because we had to put our own personal home up to invest. He'd be out of a home. Then me, the little kid, trying to, that's eager to jump in this game with both feet. I'm out. I'm out. And, we had it was like 6 of us, all the grandkids, we all be out on the street, because he jumping out here trying to be this entrepreneur without the education. Remember, 3rd grade education. He knows that, I know it, but what, man, just do it. It's easy. You know what I mean? That's how I'm looking at it. You know what I mean? So, the lesson learned there, man, the lesson learned there is that don't, get you a mentor and get you educated, and do not over leverage yourself. And that's something that I basically, as a youngster, wanted to jump. So once I got old enough, hey, I'll make the decision. So I jumped out there and I got my head knocked. But it was a valuable lesson. So now I don't over leverage myself. I'm a firm believer in these owner financing strategies. You can acquire properties using the seller. You can have the seller be the bank to acquire the properties. You can utilize other people's money like private lending in order to acquire properties. But you can build you a nice portfolio. Basically, if you got the hustle muscle, if you want it and you're willing to work for it, you can make it happen. So the lesson I learned from my granddad there is, not to over leverage yourself. Got one more lesson too. It's kind of funny, now mind you, this is back in the 80s. So, granddad come through 60s, 70s, things wasn't all the way kosher for black folks. You know what I mean? So where the insurance man used to come door to door, he'd come up on our property and we got a doorbell. Dude knock on the door. Yeah, I pissed granddad off. That wasn't too cool. You knock on the door. We got a doorbell. You don't have to put no word up there for you to ring the doorbell. Ring the doorbell, don't knock on my door, So insurance man knock on the door. I go to the door. Look, right back. Hey, white dude in the suit. I don't know who the hell he is. You know what I mean? Granddad come to the door. Man, he screaming at the top of his lungs to the guy. The hell you? Not even that you at the door. What you doing on my porch, man? What you doing on my porch? So he wouldn't even begin to talk to the guy civilly until the guy got off his porch, man. You ain't walking up on granddad's porch. So dude went off if he wouldn't have got off that porch, but I think granddad would have swung on him. You feel me? Grandfather wasn't on that bullshit. The respect is going to be established off the top, you know what I mean? So once dude got off the porch and started to proceed while he was there about the insurance, and after that, I think granddad just slammed the door so hard, man, he damn near broke it. And I told the dude to come back. Bang! Establishing authority. So the lesson to be learned there is, this is not even really a kosher business lesson, I guess, but just, no disrespect is going to be allowed. You know what I'm saying? So eventually he did do business with the insurance man. The guy was able to literally just not come in the house. Ain't one for that. He come in the house. Eventually he got to come in the house, but he never sat down. He got to come in the house and he maybe made it to the living room and they conducted business in the living room, but it was stages. It was years, He went from the beginning on the porch to we had a little foyer area between both doors. And then eventually he got in the house. Then eventually he made it where he can step close to the living room. Man, granddad was always established authority. He was always on a power trip. He used to be on one. But I just wanted to share that story with you about my granddad and different stories, man. Different things you can learn from folks. You know what I mean? So the book Acres of Diamonds, man, it's this opportunities all around you. And as far as I guess if some of you youngsters are watching this, always value the information you learning from your parents. It's a reason they've been around for a while, and it's a reason why they telling you what they telling you, because they've been where you at and then some. You know what I mean? So hey, is anybody interested in working or learning these owner financing strategies? You can always go to workwitharmand.com. And hey, until next week, we'll be right back at the Wright Flow Show every Thursday at 3 p.m. We'll be right back at it. So you guys have a great week and be safe out there. And we out. The Wright Flow Show. Hey, if you guys got any comments, I didn't see no comments pop up, man. But if you got any comments, man, just DM me, man. Just hit me up. You got any comments, any questions or whatnot? Just get at me, man. My goal is to help as many people as possible. You know what I'm saying? But hey, everybody be safe out there. Hey, let's go make some money, man. Let's make some bread out here. It's out here to be got. All right. Till next week, man. I'm going to wrap it on up. Peace.